Old Man Sarge here. Haven't done a few videos. It's November 20th, I think. Let me look exactly. November 20th. So November 20th, I have done most of my videos in regards to my channel on miniature wargaming and some older board games and things like that. The problem that I'm having is that as time has progressed, as my friends have moved on, there isn't really as many people that want to play the board games or the miniature war games any longer. I don't want to quit that. I still want to paint up stuff, but I wanted to do something that doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and that and then I could, turn on and do just for an hour or so and show some gameplay and and then turn off. I also have some goals. What I'd like to do is, first I'm going to introduce you to this game. This game is called Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and as of December 1st, it is going to be taken offline, and then December 13th, it's going to be back again, and people can go to Steam, I think, and get the game and play in, I don't want to say it's alpha or pre-alpha or I don't know, but they basically are releasing the game for play with a few different zones. There's like Thornfast, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me. Thornfast, this zone, which is called, if I can Avendreer's Pass. And then there's going to be Silent Plains, the Eastern Plains, and Wild's End. So 5 zones will be released, I believe is what they said, on December 13th. The classes are something I'll go over in the future. But this particular class is an enchanter or enchantress. And I've got this character to level 6, all done solo. And the spells are kind of interesting. This spell that keeps popping up here is called Ruined Skin. And it basically, there's like 3 charges. It's up here in the very top right side of the board, or of my screen, and it tells me that I'll absorb 50% of incoming damage, which is actually pretty cool. It'll happen 3 times, so 3 attacks will absorb that, and that gives me a little bit more time to get rid of my foe before something bad happens to me. Now, I am a caster, which means that in traditional MMO games, you've got magic spell casting, you've got tanks, you've got rogue types, and then I think you have healers. And then amongst those categories, you might have some further breakdowns of what those characters can do. If I go up and I con, which is like you try to figure out how dangerous your foe is, if I con this, it's blue. And the way that and you can see that at the bottom of the screen on the very bottom left. And that basically just means that I have a pretty good chance of defeating this creature, which this is a young black bear. In this particular character, I feel comfortable in fighting anything that's white, blue, yellow, light blue, or green. The colors of yellow, I can't really defeat on my own. And red is impossible on my own for sure. And then, I think there's orange before red, so it's like yellow, orange, red. Red would be like, you don't know what level it is. And I can't remember the differentiations of the levels. It's like one blue might be one below you, light blue might be 2, green might be 3, something like that. I don't know exactly. Anyway, for my particular character, I feel comfortable by myself that I can defeat this young black bear. But you also have to pay attention to the text, because it might say something like, it takes a group to defeat this creature. In which case it's built up stronger than the ones in the outer world. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and this is a lot of explanation that I'm giving right off the bat, but anyway, I'll be doing more on discussing things in the channel. But enchanters are supposed to be characters that are more like crowd control. So they're really sought after in EverQuest and in gaming, and also in this game, Pantheon, because they can take opponents out of the match until the party is ready to deal with them. It's called Mesmerize. I think I have that right here. And it basically just it stops the creature from being able to do anything. And they're like stuck in this like state of which they can't attack or do anything. But they can always resist your spells, and the higher level ones have a better chance of resisting. Pardon my... So, that's just some of the game. How long does it take to get up to level 6? I think from level 1 through 4 is pretty fast. Like, I think you can do it in a couple hours, but it all really depends on the class that you're playing. I think clerics would be one of the more difficult ones to level up, because you have to you're not really a strong hitter, you're more of a strong healer, and that just means that your fights are going to be long if you're by yourself. But they're really sought after in groups. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is like EverQuest in the sense that the game encourages grouping up and socializing with other people. And it's a throwback to 25 years ago. A lot of people make that claim, but the thing about EverQuest and the thing about this game, hopefully, is that they'll have significant amount of content. So they'll have a lot of content. EverQuest had a ton of content. In fact, the best way for me to describe these two games is when EverQuest came out, it's kind of like a movie. So think of a movie that's back in the 40s. A movie back in the 40s, they don't really have a lot of special effects. You know, a lot of the imagination that actors put into the game had to do with their acting ability to bring their characters to life, to bring the story to life. And that's kind of the golden age of, I think, cinema and movies. And if you think of gaming, like right now with MMOs, it's kind of similar. So in the movies, I don't know when special effects really started coming in, but probably Star Wars in the late 70s and then 80s and 90s, and then they got into the 2000s. And if you look at the budgets of some of these movies, a lot of the budgets have to do with the special effects. And that wasn't, like that back in the 40s, when everybody relied more on the acting and the storyline and what the story was about. And that's the same thing that I say about MMOs. MMOs, because of what people have kind of desired, they want more action-oriented characters. So they're not as interested about the character themselves, I think, as much as what the character can do. So that's my kind of take on it. I'll talk about this more in detail in another video, but so one of my goals that I'm going to have for Pantheon, personal goal, and I'm going to do a stream, I'm going to do various videos on this, both in Pantheon and I'm hoping in EverQuest, is I'm going to try to make characters that will not have to release. That'll be like my own personal rule. So my goal is to make a character and take it through adventures in the world and not release. And if I do, I'm going to start a new character. That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. But the problem is I'm going to get probably attached to a character that I build, and then they're going to end up dying somewhere. And then I'm going to feel like I need to break that rule. And I'm hoping if I stream it, or if I not stream it, but I record it, all of my experiences and my leveling up, I'm hoping that when I do that, that'll be an incentive for me to not actually do that. That's kind of what... So I'm kind of like you guys in YouTube that are watching me are going to hold my feet to the fire. Now, so what does this rule mean? Well, it doesn't mean I can't be resurrected. What it means is that I'm not going to release. So either I'll release and I'll delete the character, or somebody nearby will resurrect me. That's the goal. And we'll see if it's even possible with my level of gameplay. So the other thing that I'd say about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen and EverQuest is that there are other games out there that have a high skill set, and you have to have people spend a lot of time becoming proficient in the game itself, so that they're good at like clicking and maximizing their build-ups, and then exerting whatever power play against their opponents or creatures that they can. And EverQuest and Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is not like that. There's a lot of sitting in the game, which is going to bore some people, but there's a lot of just individual spells, and the combat that your characters make is really kind of just generic. You know, they don't like do combinations or anything that much. And the game's more about the socializing, adventuring, and I don't know, it's more relaxed of a game. But there are moments when the game gets really intense. So, when you're in a dungeon or something and you've lost 2 of your party members and you've got the other creatures almost dead, and you're trying to figure out if you can save the healer so that they can resurrect everybody. I mean, there are moments in these games that are intense, but for the most part, it's not really that intense of a game like those other ones. So let me talk about, for example, see, this guy's yellow to me, and if I played a different class, I could kill him. Like if I played a wizard, or if I played a I don't know, maybe a mage or a necromancer, or I don't know, maybe a warrior could, I don't know, a paladin, maybe a rogue could, I'm not sure. But an enchanter, it's not worth the risk. I probably would not win, and if I did win, it would be so close that it's just not worth it. So I just kind of skipped that. So this challenge that I'm challenging myself to I'm not going to actually start until after the 13th on Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. We'll see if I can keep a character alive all the way up to the high levels. I'm a little concerned about it, though. Unless there's nice people around me that will resurrect me. But I'm a little concerned that I'll be working really hard to build a beautiful character, up, and then they'll die, and it'll be RIP, rest in peace, whatever the character's name is. I also plan on doing it in EverQuest, so I'll do that. But let me go back to what I was saying about the video games out there that have high skill games. Like, I'll talk about one that's not even an MMO. It's called League of Legends, which probably a lot of people who are gamers are familiar with. I played it with my friends. I wasn't good at it, but I had a good time, and they had a good time of making fun of how bad I was at it, but I wasn't really that good. But I did enjoy the game, and I did enjoy playing the game with some of my friends. But the people who play this game that are highly skilled, they know when to click at the right time. They know what combinations to hit their opponent with. They know what could be used against them. And they've got actually competitions where they do like team on team. It's like there's like 3 on a side, I think. Or no, there's 4 on a side. There's 3 lanes and there's 4 on a side, and like one lane, and then 2 guys in another lane. And when they actually have competitions, and a lot of the countries that do really well in it are like Korea and China. So some of the Asian countries do extremely well. North America's tried to do really well, but I think every time I've checked like who's winning this competition, it's usually an Asian company, the South Korean team or something like that. But what I'm trying to explain by telling you about League of Legends and other games like it is that those are high skill oriented games. This is not at all. And so I really just kind of encourage anybody to try it out. Uh-oh. Okay, I have to try to kill this thing. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to win this. So we'll mesmerize it. Oh, and it came out of its mez. Luckily, I'm bound right here. So, if I was playing right now, I'd be done. Now, that thing Khan's white. I probably should have been able to defeat it, but it kind of got the jump on me. And I don't know, for some reason those big snakes scare me. So there you go. Right now, I would have deleted this character if I was playing it with the challenge that I'm giving myself. Okay. So I talked about League of Legends. There's other games though that I've played that are more fantasy-ish and more, but they have a high skill rating, and I've just never been good at it. Like I think in the battle or the battle realm or the realm wars or whatever that go on in Elder Scrolls Online, I wasn't really good at clicking at the right time, and I just felt like, I'm an older person, so I kind of felt like those games are just not for me. But I still like adventuring. I still like the stories, quests. I still like meeting people. I still like to socialize with people. And when you're playing a game that's less intense, it just seems much easier to kind of chat with people. Sometimes you'll be doing something with somebody, and then you're just talking about something unrelated to the game. And you're just talking about different things. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one for now. So this was an introduction to my future gaming experience. My intention is to play different kinds of games, but I'm going to have at least one character going on both EverQuest and Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and I'm going to make a commitment to that character, and I'll talk about it when I'm doing it, that I'm not going to release. And if I do release, I'll delete the character and everything the character has on it. So it's going to be a challenge. One of the characters I really want to play in this game and in EverQuest is a wizard. I've just always thought that the wizards would be really cool at higher levels, but they were just so hard to get there, at least in EverQuest. And you're squishy, like a glass cannon. So I want to try that out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this one for now. The next one, I actually wrote a bunch of notes on. And I'm going to just talk about why I play this game and why other people are going to play it as well, and why I think that it's good to support the independent developers of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. And I'm going to talk about the past games and talk about the things that other people don't like in games that I think are absolutely fantastic. And all kinds of things. Like I wrote up all the things that I used to have to deal with. I'll tell stories too that I had to deal with when I played EverQuest, and they're funny now, but at the time they were just like super stressful when these things happen. But you know, I always looked at it as it's a game, and so I wasn't really like all caught up in that, all the politics, all the, you know, personal things you might have against another player. I was like, we're playing a game. It's not real life. And I just laugh about things that happen, even when they happen to me. I think they're funny. So anyway, we'll be back with another video. I'm going to probably, I don't know, play a different character so you can kind of get a feel for what a different character looks like in this game. But here's the Enchantress. Let's go around and look at her. Oh, I don't know. Can I? No. There we go. So there's the Enchantress. And this is an elf. Now, as far as if you want to maximize your caster, you might build a dark mirror. They have the highest level of intelligence to start. But the thing is I don't really know how much that really matters in the game. As you get higher levels, I'm not sure that 1 or 2 points of that intelligence or whatever is going to make that big a difference. It might. I don't know. But we'll talk about some other things when it comes to factions. And I don't know if the factions are going to be similar to what they were in EverQuest or not. As far as the world, if you look at the world, it's pretty, I think. It seems big enough. I'll talk about that more in a little bit when I go to the next video. You know, the one thing that I'll say, there's only been 2 zones that I've been in. This one and Thornfast. And the one thing that I'll say is I'm not a fan, if all the zones are like this, of having all these cliffs. Now, I think it's fine in this game, in this realm, and in Thornfast, if that's what, you know, is the idea behind it, that they've got a lot of cliffs, that's fine. But when I see Silent Plains on the 14th of December or whatever, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that there's not a lot of cliffs. It should be like rolling hills and flat plains and just vast distances. That's what I think it should be, but we'll see. And then Silent Plains, or pardon me, Eastern Plains, maybe something similar. And then the Wild's End, I don't know. But it's not that I'm unhappy with the way they've done their zone and their trees and, you know, even the cliffs. And you can climb them, you know, like you go over here. This is a feature they put into the game, which I think is pretty cool. So there you go, you're climbing. Now, what's not showing up is this yellow meter that tells me that my stamina is reducing. And when my stamina gets reduced to enough, then I'll fall like that. And then I'll be exhausted. But I don't know why it's not showing up. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to show up anyway. So, anyway, level 6 enchanter. There's really not much reason to level a ton in this game, because in a couple weeks they're going to erase everything anyway. So I'm not really all that concerned about leveling up or anything. I just kind of wanted to experience the different characters and see which one kind of feels best for me. So hopefully you enjoyed what I've talked about so far. Pretty boring, maybe, but I think a lot of people that watch these videos are kind of, I don't know, a little bit different than the hardcore gamers who are just click, 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 you know. So I'm hoping that this will be an introduction video. Thank you for watching. Old Man Sarge signing off.